Hello folks, this is Dan, and I'm going to share with you today a little experiment that I just tried. This is about just intonation and 12-tone equal temperament and a system that I'm experimenting with which I called just intonation Lite. I'll explain what that means in a minute. So firstly, let me show you this tag that I've written here. How do I make it big? Here we go. So this is just a funny tag. It's all about barbershop being a cult, but it's not really a cult. Anyway, I wrote it for my friends here in Canberra, the barbershop community here in Canberra. So it's a SATB tag, so the melody's in the soprano line, and the alto part is quite like a barbershop tenor line, and the what's called the tenor here is like a barbershop baritone line, and the bass is bass. Bass doesn't change too much. So what I'm going to show you is three different tuning systems that I rendered this tag in, and I did it using Synthesizer V, which is a pretty magical program, which some of you are probably familiar with. And in it, you can precisely adjust the scent corrections of the tag, or of the notes. Anyway, what we're going to do first is listen to the 12-tone equal temperament version. So this is the tag that you see, but it's going to be exactly in tune with the piano. So no scent corrections have been made. It's kind of just the absolute pitches that you see in front of you. No corrections have been made, just like in tune like a piano. Here it is.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cult, we swear.
So that's the 12-tone equal temperament version. Pretty pleasing. I hope you agree. And but what we're gonna hear in a second is a full just intonation version. This one here. So if you look on the screen now, you can see our sheet music now has all these little colored numbers everywhere. So these are the scent corrections. So if the note is the root note of the chord, for example, the bass and the tenor are on the root note C, because it's a C major chord, and so the scent correction is 0. They have not been changed. The alto part here is -14, so that's the major third of the chord, which we tuned down by 14 cents. The soprano, which is the melody, is +2, so that's the fifth of the chord. The fifths get tuned up by 2 cents. On the second chord here, the bass is on the root, the baritone slash tenor is on the major third, -14. The alto part is on the seventh of the chord, it's an E7 chord, and it is -31 cents. That's really flat compared to the piano. -31, that's how flat we should sing our sevenths if we want to use just intonation. And the soprano is still on the fifth here, so +2. So it's all pretty self-explanatory. Oh, here we've got a major ninth as well. So the soprano's on the ninth of this chord. So that's +4. It's like a ninth is like a fifth on top of a fifth. So you go +2, then +2 again, hence the +4 for a major ninth. I think the rest of it makes sense. Interesting here that the alto part is the seventh of the chord, and then it's the third of the chord. So even though it's an F 2 times in a row, it's a F -31 cents, then it's an F -14 cents. So you're gonna, if you listen closely, you can probably hear the alto slide up just a little bit, even though on paper it's the same note twice. Let's listen to the just intonation version. Here we go.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cult, we swear.
Fascinating. So you might say that those chords have got a bit more buzz to them. That's my perception anyway. Um, I find that particularly the sevenths, because they bend 31 cents away from the absolute pitch of the piano. It sounds a little bit wonky sometimes to me. I think if I listened to just intonation all the time, I would get used to it. But it sounds a little bit wonky to my ears at this time. Um, Fascinating thing also, have a look at the waveform of each of these. It's fascinating to me that the 12 tone equal temperament one is the spikiest looking, and the just intonation one is the least spiky or sort of more rounded looking waveform, which is fascinating. Anyway, in the middle, you can see that this one, which I call just intonation light, is kind of halfway in between. It's not quite as spiky as 12 tone, it's not quite as round as just intonation. We're going to listen to this one in just a second, but let me explain what I mean by just intonation light. So, this this is my experiment. I was thinking about how many barbershop quartets and a cappella groups actually sing in just intonation. I think it's very few. I think what happens in reality is that we bend notes towards just intonation, but we don't often do not ever get there fully, at least not on every chord, maybe on some chords. So what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to try was what I call just intonation light. And so I thought, what if everybody could bend their notes, but to a maximum of 10 cents? So what this means is that root notes are still 0. Perfect fifths, or the fifth of the chord is still +2. You can bend up to 10 cents either direction. But it means your major thirds, instead of being -14, they'll be -10. And your sevenths, as in flat seventh of the chord, that is normally -31, but now it's -10. So it's kind of capped at -10. Each singer can bend their note 10 cents up or down, um, but no further. So, and the major ninths are still +4 because they do not exceed 10 in either direction. So this is what I call just intonation light, and I'd like you to have a listen and see what you think. Here we go, listening to just intonation light.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cult, we swear.
So, what do you think? I'll let you listen to all three back to back in just a minute, but my feelings are the 12 tone equal temperament sounds a little bit harsh, a little bit uh, buzzy, not in a good way, in a sort of harsh, unsettled way. Shall we say unsettled? And this is just my feeling. Just intonation, which was the second one we listened to, where all the notes have been adjusted, the sevenths at -31. To me, that sounds a little bit wonky at times. Let me put that on the screen, just intonation. This one sounds a little bit wonky at times to me, particularly just because some of the sevenths. You do get a real buzz and kind of expansion on those chords, which is great. However, it sort of feels like it's bending quite far away from the tonal center, which means when you come back to the tonal center, it feels a little bit odd. Just intonation light, I think, is a pretty happy medium between the two, where we are hearing the chords more in tune, more things have been adjusted and sort of bended and bent towards just intonation, but it doesn't deviate too far from what we sort of think of as horizontal tuning. So things staying in tune as you move along in time. Let's listen to them all back to back. so you can get one last clean listen to them all. So let's start with let's start with 12 tone equal temperament, which is all pitches unchanged, just as you would hear on the piano.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cold, we swear.
We'll do just intonation light next, which is the pitches have been adjusted up to 10 cents with a cap on 10 cents in either direction. Just intonation light.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cold, we swear.
And finally, we will listen to just intonation. So this is, sevenths are minus 31 cents, thirds are minus 14 cents, and so on.
Join us, join us, join us. It's not a cold, we swear.
Anyway, that's my presentation on just intonation versus 12 tone equal temperament versus just intonation light. Would like to hear what you think about all that. See you next time.